Are you in charge of videoing? Are you in charge of the video? Are you in charge of the video? Oh, no, you are now. That was my boss.
And
All
I
right.
think we lit it appropriately.
Good. All right. I'm gonna get shoe polish next year.
I'm going to turn the mic on the next time
Yeah,
you
yeah,
threaten
yeah,
me,
yeah.
though, just to make sure we have a record of this.
Yeah.
I'll leave that off until you're ready to start. You're at 28 now. What are you thinking?
Put it on. Put it on.
Turn up?
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
I'll keep calling you.
Okay, you're live.
Made this for you. Welcome. We're going to get started if everyone could have a seat. Great, thank you. Welcome. My name is Christina Guarini. I'm the Director of Guidance here at Southeastern Regional. We want to welcome everyone here tonight, the students, the parents, the sponsors, our school committee members, our faculty, and our support staff. Tonight, everyone is gathered in this room to celebrate 100 of the top students in the graduating class of 2016. Congratulations. We really appreciate all of the efforts that you've made and the dedication that you've had to the school over the past 4 years. We know that was not an easy thing to do. We have read your moving essays, heard some incredible stories about your talents and your work ethic, and calculated your GPA. But the best and most important piece is that we are proud of who you are as people. I hope that you feel your own sense of pride from within. And I really hope that tonight is only the first of many times that you're celebrated for your accomplishments. Thank you to the families who have always made education a priority. Thank you to the school committee and superintendent who give so freely to make sure that not only the students don't go without, but to make sure that they have the best. The superintendent and his assistant personally shopped for all the wonderful gifts that you see here tonight. You would never find that. Our principal always seems to see things through the eyes of our students. He gives of himself, his time, and even his own money to help our students on a daily basis. This is an incredible community, and we're grateful for all of you to be part of it. Tonight, we will ask that the sponsors follow the program, and that when your scholarship comes up, that you will come up, be able to give the certificate to the student and have your picture taken so that the student has a nice memory. We will post the pictures so that everyone's able to have that and take that as a memory. So without further ado, I will introduce our superintendent, Mr. Lou Lopes.
Thanks, Christina. Just a clarification. She said I shop for gifts. We shop for tool chips. You earned these things. These are not gifts, so you earned them, so congratulations. Welcome. Tonight is one of my most enjoyable moments as an educator. We are here to celebrate the successes of the students in the class of 2016. I had 101 students, so I think we might be off by one. This is the night that we celebrate all your hard work. And the best part is, we do so by awarding you scholarships and toolships. In fact, how about a round of applause in appreciation for the generosity of our sponsors that are here tonight, who collectively are giving away over $75,000 tonight. You earned it. So we have a lot of scholarships, so I'm not going to give a big speech. But again, welcome, thank you, and congratulations. We will begin our ceremony by introducing the class of 2016 salutatorian, Molly Ballstad, who will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Molly?
if you could all stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Hi, folks. I'm Dave Wheeler. I'm the principal. Welcome. I'm going to be presiding tonight. I am going to do my best to pronounce everything properly, and I'm actually going to wear reading glasses for this. So, what I will do is I will first announce the award, then I will announce the presenters, then I will say a little bit about the award itself, and then I will announce the recipients. And then please come up and, like Mr. Lopes said, for a picture. So the first award is the Superintendent's Award for Academic Achievement. This award is presented by our Superintendent, Louis Lopes, and is given each year in recognition of the valedictorian and the salutatorian. This year's recipients are Adriana Dotry and Molly Bolstad. Our next award is the School Committee Scholarship Award. This will be presented by Joe Dutcher. The School Committee Scholarship is awarded to the student representative on the school committee, and this year is given in memory of Frances Gamson, the mother of Stoughton School Committee Representative Robin Gamson Zoll. The recipient is Zachary Manny. Next is the Margaret Adams Williams Scholarship, presented by School Committee member Michael Petrowski. This scholarship is given in memory of Margaret Adams Williams by her family. Margaret was a very dedicated and well-respected employee of Southeastern for many years. This year's recipient is Nadeja DiCavallo. Our next award, presented by Mr. Joseph Poley, is the Will Ahola Memorial Scholarship and is awarded in the memory of Mr. Will Ahola, who taught culinary arts at Southeastern. This year's recipient is Elizabeth Sullivan. Our next award, presented by Mr. Lopes, is the Allied Auto Parts Toolship. This award is presented annually to benefit an automotive student. The company motto is Everything Automotive. This year's recipient is Daniel Burnell. Next, we have the American Legion Post 7, awarded by Ken Wood. This scholarship is given to a student who has academic excellence, civic involvement, and a level of conduct reflecting the ideals of the American Legion. This year's recipient is Christopher Keenan. Our next award is the American Legion Post 91 Scholarship, presented by Paul Connell. This scholarship is dedicated to providing service to the community, particularly the commemoration of the contributions and sacrifices of military veterans and benefits to their children. This year there are two recipients, Brian Hurley and Jacob Pike.
Christina says read them one at a time so they can take one picture each.
Next award, presented by Mr. Lopes, is the Cynthia Armstead Memorial Scholarship. Cynthia Armstead was the mother of longtime school committee member Ralph Armstead. Cynthia was a nurse who cared for children. This scholarship is offered to encourage graduates entering the child care profession. This year's recipient, Hannah McNeil. We're going to ask Hannah to stay, as she is the recipient of the next award, the Robin Armstead Young Memorial Scholarship. This scholarship is given in memory of the daughter of Ralph Armstead, a longtime member and chairman of the school committee. Congratulations, Hannah. Our next award is the David Balch Mayflower League Scholarship. David Balch is a former teacher, coach, and athletic director at Southeastern. This award is presented by Dan Tripp, our current athletic director. On behalf of Dave, the Mayflower League recognizes the important role that athletics can play in the development of young men and women. This scholarship is intended for a well-rounded student athlete. There are two recipients. The first, Dylan Dukes. The second recipient of the David Balch Mayflower League Scholarship is Kelly Lopes. The next award presented by Mr. Lopes is the Balfour Incorporated O'Brien and Johnson Scholarship. O'Brien and Johnson gives this scholarship as a thank you for the many years that Southeastern has purchased their class rings. This scholarship is awarded to a graduate from business marketing. This year's recipient, Ariana Marshall. Our next scholarship is the Banner Scholarship presented by the Seekonk Fire Department. This is a scholarship from the Norton and Seekonk Fire Department in memory of fallen firefighter Richard Banner, a Vietnam veteran who passed away while responding to a house fire in 1977. This year, this scholarship is given in memory of Todd Jones, who was a lieutenant in the Norton Fire Department. The recipient is Kiara Jones. Next is the Richard Belanger Memorial Scholarship presented by Mr. Joseph Poley. This award is in memory of Mr. Richard Belanger, who taught plumbing at Southeastern Regional. This year's recipient is Jeffrey Cook. Our next award is the Steve Brennan Memorial Scholarship, presented by one of our faculty members, Cheryl Blanchard. This scholarship is given in memory of Steve Brennan, who was a graduate of Southeastern from Graphic Arts. It was important for Steve to help and mentor Southeastern students, as well as help a graphic arts student continue their education. This year's recipient, Layla Dos Santos. Our next award, the Bridgewater Rotary Club Scholarship, will be presented by Mr. Joseph Dutcher and Mr. Lewis Lopes. The Rotary Club of Bridgewaters is proud to award this scholarship. The Rotary awards this to students who give their time and effort to support the success of their communities. This year's recipient, Samuel Matawana. Our next award, presented by Mr. Lopes, is the Bristol Norfolk Home Builder Scholarship. A local chapter of the National Association of Home Builders of Washington, D.C., this award is given to a deserving student in the building trades. This year's recipient is Grayson DePina. The next award, also presented by Mr. Lopes, is the Walter Lewis Brown Memorial Scholarship. Walter Lewis Brown was a member of the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 103 and worked for Foster Electric Company. These scholarships and toolships have been generously provided by his late widow, Elizabeth B. Brown, to students in the electrical field. There are 5 recipients. The first, Warren Anderson. Our second recipient for this award, Carly Davis. Our next recipient of the Walter Lewis Brown Memorial Scholarship Award is Michael Mangano. Also a recipient of the Walter Lewis Brown Memorial Scholarship, Jacob Pike. And the final recipient of the Walter Lewis Brown Memorial Scholarship is William Truckee. Our next award, presented by Mr. Lopes, is the Sorelli's Foods Scholarship. This scholarship is honoring Victor Sorelli, a longtime member of our Commercial Foods Program Advisory Board. It is offered to deserving student from the Culinary Arts program. There are 4 recipients. The first, Kyle Decker. Our next recipient of the Sorelli's Food Scholarship, Bianca Emile. Our next recipient of the Sorelli's Food Scholarship, Desiree Hodgson. And our final recipient of the Sorelli's Food Scholarship is Elizabeth Sullivan. Our next award is the Stephen R. Coulter Family Memorial Scholarship, also presented by Mr. Lopes. This scholarship is given in memory of Stephen Coulter, who was a former auto mechanics instructor at Southeastern. It is awarded to a deserving student who is continuing in the field of auto mechanics. This year's recipient is Robert Mayo. Our next award, presented by Mr. Poley, who is the president of our Teachers Federation, is the Stephen R. Coulter Memorial Federation Scholarship. This is in memory of Mr. Stephen Coulter, who taught auto mechanics at Southeastern. And the recipient for this award is Rachel Tilson. Our next scholarship, the Lindsay A. Curtin Memorial Scholarship, presented by Tina and David Curtin. This scholarship is given in memory of Lindsay A. Curtin by her family. She was a lively and bright young woman, the president of student council, a cheerleader, a peer minister, and an active community service participant. This is awarded in her memory to a deserving student. This year's recipient, Jordan Price. Our next award is the Christopher Paul Danforth Scholarship, presented by Mr. Lopes. The purpose of this scholarship is to honor the memory of Chris, a Southeastern Culinary Arts graduate. He received a scholarship upon his graduation, and he used it to purchase a set of chef knives. His family hopes another student can do the same. This year's recipient, Gianni Martin. The next scholarship, presented by Walter Danilla, is the Richard J. and Lila L. and Walter Danilla Memorial Scholarship. This scholarship is given in memory of Richard Danilla and his parents, Lila and Walter, who were, I can ad-lib, my neighbors on the east side of Brockton, given by his family. Rick was a proud graduate and also a dedicated employee of Southeastern for 30 years. This year's recipient is Julia Monroe. Our next award is the Catherine Douglas Memorial Scholarship, presented by Cheryl Blanchard. This scholarship is in memory of Katie Douglas, a Southeastern graduate who was third in her class majoring in graphic communications. This year's recipient, Denise Azor. Our next award is from the East Bridgewater Kiwanis Club, presented by Frank Ray. East Bridgewater is proud of its young people and is pleased to support them through toolships and scholarships. Congratulations to all. This year there are two recipients. The first, Bridget Anderson. And our second recipient is Jessica Duhamel. Our next award is presented by our athletic director, Dan Tripp. It's from the Easton Girls Recreational Softball League Scholarship. This scholarship is given to Southeastern as a thank you for the many years the school has allowed this league to use their softball fields. The league chooses a softball player from Southeastern to help a student continuing their education. I will talk slowly so Mr. Tripp can make it to the podium. The recipient of the Easton Girls Recreational Softball League Scholarship is Kristen Burnell. Our next scholarship, presented by school committee member Michael Petrowski, is the Easton Lions Club Scholarship. Easton Lions Club is a group of volunteers dedicated to community involvement, personal development, and other humanitarian causes. This scholarship is given to students who possess those same qualities. This year, there are 2 recipients. The first, Jeffrey Aldrich. And our second recipient, Christopher Keenan. Next is the Easton Police Association Scholarship, presented by our own former school resource officer, Sergeant Gurney. The Easton Police Department takes great pride in serving our community and are pleased to award a scholarship to assist a student who wishes to further their education and pursue a career in the law enforcement or criminal justice field. There are 2 recipients. The first, Nicole Fitzgibbon. The second recipient of the Easton Police Association Scholarship is Deshaun Texera. Congratulations. Our next award is presented by Dan Tripp, the Easton Pop Warner Scholarship. The goal of the Easton Pop Warner is to help youth develop the values of discipline, motivation, and sportsmanship through commitment and organized skills. There are 4 recipients this year. The first, Daniel Burnell. The second recipient of the Easton Pop Warner Scholarship is Natalie Spector. The next recipient of the Easton Pop Warner Scholarship is Stephanie Stewart. And the final recipient of the Easton Pop Warner Scholarship is David Williams. Our next award is from the Eastside Improvement Association Scholarship. This award will be presented by Mark Lindy, our school committee representative from Brockton. The goal of the Eastside Improvement Association of Brockton is to help improve the community through youth, special needs, and senior programs. This scholarship is awarded to a student that represents these goals. There are 6 recipients. The first, Diana Boyd. Our second recipient of the Eastside Improvement Association Scholarship is Adelise Cologne. Our next recipient of the Eastside Improvement Association Scholarship, Aaron Major. The next recipient of the Eastside Improvement Association Scholarship is Stephen Pina. The next recipient of the Eastside Improvement Association Scholarship is Edson Perez. And our final recipient of the Eastside Improvement Association Scholarship is Raphael Reese. Our next award is the Jason Farwell Memorial Scholarship presented by Mr. Lopes. This award is given in memory of Jason Farwell, a former plumbing student of Southeastern who passed away from leukemia. Jason was a member of the football team and was well liked by all who knew him. His family continues to help educate our students in Jason's memory. This year's recipient is Robert DeAndrade. Next is the Julio B. Ferreira Memorial Scholarship, presented by Maria Ray and Anna Mata. This scholarship is given by Anna Mata and Maria Ray in memory of their father. He had been a police officer in Portugal. This scholarship is for a student that is hardworking and wants to excel in his or her endeavors. This year's award recipient is Caitlin Gillis. Our next award will be presented by Mr. Poley. The James Goodwin Memorial Federation Scholarship is offered in memory of Mr. Goodwin, who taught history at Southeastern Regional. This year's recipient, Jake Mastorelli. Our next award, presented by Mr. Lopes, is the John H. Hamilton Memorial Scholarship. John Hamilton was involved in the original design and construction of Southeastern Regional. John spent many years as chairman of the school committee. This scholarship is given to a deserving student in the Southeastern community. This year's recipient, Adriana Dotry. Our next award will be presented by Ms. Beverly Pusateri in honor of Mary and Alexander Howard. This scholarship is given by Beverly Pusateri, who was a former teacher, supervisor, and TI director at Southeastern in honor of her parents, Mary and Alexander Howard. This is for a deserving student who is continuing their education in the health service field. This year's recipient, Giovanna DePina. Our next award is the Eugene Kostecki Memorial Scholarship Award, presented by Mr. Lopes. This scholarship is in memory of Eugene Kostecki, a former Southeastern School Committee member, and this award is given to a deserving student and will also be presented by Mr. Flannery, one of our school committee members. This year's recipient, Marcus Pulio. Our next award, the Mansfield Bank Scholarship, will also be presented by Mr. Flannery. Mansfield Bank on Belmont Street in Easton awards these scholarships as part of their community and the education of Southeastern students. There are 3 recipients. The first, Samantha Aubin. The next recipient of the Mansfield Bank Scholarship is Edward Jerome. And the third recipient of the Mansfield Bank Scholarship is Max Leard. Our next award, presented by Linda Cornetta, is the Rotary Club of Mansfield Scholarship Award. Mansfield Rotary Club provides these awards to recognize young people who render service to their community and who demonstrate leadership skills. There are 3 recipients. The first, Jordan Jamilinski. Our second recipient of the Rotary Club of Mansfield Scholarship is Max Leard. And our third and final recipient of the Rotary Club of Mansfield Scholarship is Liam O'Malley. Congratulations. Our next award, presented by Holly and Noah McClannon, is the Keith A. McClannon Memorial Scholarship. This scholarship is given to a deserving student in memory of Keith A. McClannon by his family. Keith lived life to the fullest, never missed an opportunity to laugh, and inspired everyone around him with his indomitable spirit. This year's recipient is Makai Gilbert. Our next award is Modern Auto Body, presented by Mr. Lopes. Modern Auto Body is owned and operated by Francis Fistori, who started his collision repair service in 1985 in Brockton. Modern Auto Body gives this scholarship to help a student in the field of auto body. This year's recipient is Victoria Feedham. Next is the Paul Moraes Scholarship, which is offered in memory of Paul Moraes, who was a graduate of Southeastern and participated in the air conditioning program. This year's recipient is Dylan Schiffer. Our next award, presented by Mr. Lopes, is the Paul R. Moran Jr. Memorial Scholarship. This scholarship is given to honor the memory of Paul R. Moran Jr., who attended Southeastern as a plumbing student by his family and friends. This is given to deserving students to help with their endeavors. This year there are 3 recipients. The first is Samantha Cronin. The second recipient of the Paul R. Moran Jr. Memorial Scholarship is Robert DeAndrade. And our final recipient of the Paul R. Moran Jr. Memorial Scholarship is Stephen Pina. Congratulations. Next is the Muffler Man Scholarship. Muffler Man Incorporated has been in business for over 45 years and is dedicated to serving its customers with affordable and experienced service. This scholarship is offered by the company to help a student entering the auto mechanics field. This year's recipient, Rachel Tilson. Next is the Norton Lions Club Scholarship. The Norton Lions Club is part of Lions Clubs International, a network of volunteers who work together to answer the needs that challenge communities. This scholarship is awarded to a student from Norton. This year there are two recipients. The first, Elizabeth Jerglowitz. And the second recipient of the Norton Lions Club Scholarship, Zachary Manny. Great. Congratulations. Next, we have the Ryan Orcutt Memorial Scholarship, which is given in memory of Ryan Orcutt, who was a Southeastern Regional Plumbing student and a member of our football team. Ryan was a wonderful son, brother, and friend. Great care is taken in choosing students to honor Ryan's memory. There are 5 award recipients this year. First, Bridget Anderson. The second recipient of the Ryan Orcutt Memorial Scholarship, Jordan Chmielewski. The next recipient of the Ryan Orcutt Memorial Scholarship is Angie Diego. Our fourth recipient of the Ryan Orcutt Memorial Scholarship, Abigail Quimby. And our fifth and final recipient of the Ryan Orcutt Memorial Scholarship is Angelina Starks. Congratulations. Next is the Edna Paddock Memorial Scholarship. This scholarship is given to a deserving student in memory of Edna Paddock through a private donation given by June and Stanley Paddock. June devoted over 30 years of service as an English teacher at Southeastern. June and her husband award this scholarship in memory of her parents. This year's recipient, Benjamin Olitsky. We also have the Stanley Paddock Senior Memorial Scholarship. This scholarship is awarded annually through a private donation given in memory of Stanley Paddock Sr. by June and Stanley Paddock Jr. June was a devoted English teacher at Southeastern for over 30 years. There are two recipients. Kiara Jones. And our second recipient is Callie Stewart. Our next award will be presented by John Burke from the Southeastern Regional Alumni Association. This scholarship is given by Southeastern Alumni Association. The association fosters an ongoing connection between alumni and current students through these scholarships. This year, there are two recipients. The first is Ashley Burke. And our second recipient of the Southeastern Regional Alumni Association Scholarship is Elizabeth Jurglowitz. Next is the Althea Stetson Memorial Scholarship. This scholarship is given by June and Stanley Paddock in memory of Althea Stetson. June was an English teacher at Southeastern for over 30 years. This year's recipient is Adriana Daughtry. Next is the Rose Stewart Memorial Scholarship. This scholarship is in memory of a former Southeastern cafeteria employee to a deserving student. There are two recipients. The first, Christina Germain. And our second recipient of the Rose Stewart Memorial Scholarship is Alexis Piccadacci. Congratulations. Our next award will be presented by Robin Zoll, school committee member from Stoughton. The Stoughton Media Access Scholarship is presented by Stoughton Media Access, which is a nonprofit organization serving the residents of Stoughton. This is offered to a student seeking further education in the field of communication. This year's recipient is Emilio Musto. Our next scholarship, also presented by Robin Zoll, is the Stoughton Town Spa Scholarship. This scholarship is given to a student from Stoughton on behalf of the Stoughton Town Spa. The spa is a restaurant which has been in business for over 55 years. This year's recipient, Eduardo Lima. Our next scholarship is the Richard Matthew Tangerlini Scholarship and will be presented by the Tangerlini family. Richard was a proud 2006 graduate of Southeastern who exceeded in the metal fabrication program. Rich was a likable, loyal, kind, witty, and spirited young man who thrived on learning something new every day. The family takes comfort in extending this scholarship in his name to a deserving student to help ease the transition into their future endeavors. This year's recipient is Timothy DeAngelis. Next is the Teachers Federation Memorial Scholarship presented by Mr. Joseph Poley. This scholarship is given by the Federation in memory of all the former teachers who dedicated their careers to the students of Southeastern. This year's recipient is Brian Texera. Next is the Raymond E. and Arlene B. Tropia Scholarship. This award is presented by Susan Cadigan and Jen Surechia. How'd I do? Close? All right. Raymond E. Tropia was a member of the Southeastern Regional School Committee and truly believed in vocational education. Arlene B. Tropia loved her nursing career. These scholarships are given to a plumbing student in honor of Raymond and a health services student in honor of Arlene. The first recipient is Martine Honor. And our second recipient is Nicholas Miller. Our next award is the Edward J. Buck Tebow Memorial Scholarship Award. This scholarship is offered by Edward J. Tebow in memory of his son, who loved Southeastern and was a truly gifted art student. His family hopes the scholarship assists a student as he or she continues their art education. This year's recipient is Angie Diego. Our next scholarship is the Wheels of Time of Massachusetts, presented by Jack Dacey and Joe Dutcher. The Wheels of Time is an antique car club. This organization donates money and parades cars for different organizations. They are very supportive of the further education of Southeastern students. There are 4 recipients. The first is Christopher Brown. The second recipient of the Wheels of Time Scholarship is Isabella Ciula Montero. The third recipient of the Wheels of Time Scholarship is Kyle Dirksen. And our final recipient of the Wheels of Time Scholarship is Jasmine Leslie. Congratulations to all of you. Next is the Zumwalt History Award, presented by Michael Petrowski. The Zumwalt History Award is in honor of Admiral Elmo R. Zumwalt Jr., Chief of Naval Operations and a visionary leader of the 20th century, and in memory of his wife, Musa Zumwalt. This award is given to a student that is outstanding in history. This year's recipient, Molly Bolstad. Our next award, presented by Ms. Heidi Driscoll, is for the Outstanding English Student. This award is given by the English Department for the most outstanding academic achievement in English this year. This award is presented to Zachary Manny. Our next award, presented by Leslie Weckesser, is the Outstanding Science Student Award. This award is given by the Science Department for the most outstanding academic achievement in science this year. This year's recipient is Angelina Starks. Our next award, presented by Ms. Driscoll, is the Outstanding Math Student, which is given by the Math Department for the most outstanding academic achievement in math this year. The award goes to Molly Bolstad. Our next award will be presented by Karen McGuire, the Outstanding History Student. This award is given by the History Department for the most outstanding academic achievement in history this year. This year's recipient, Molly Bolstad. Our next award is the Red, White, and Blue Scholarship Outstanding Vocational Student Award, where one student from each vocational program is recognized. From Advertising and Design, Curtis Johnson. From Automotive Technology, Jamato Horta. From Business Marketing, Jose Victor Sabading. From Carpentry, Construction, and Cabinet Making, Christopher Quinn. From Collision, Repair, and Restoration, Kevin Decker. From Computer and Electronic Engineering, Julia Monroe. Our next red, white, and blue scholarship and outstanding vocational student from the cosmetology program, Tess Harback. The outstanding student from culinary arts, Elizabeth Sullivan. The outstanding student from early education and care is Molly Bolstad. The outstanding student from the electrical program is Warren Anderson. The outstanding student from environmental and biotechnology is Molly Crumby. Our outstanding vocational student from health services, Rachel Almeida. The outstanding student from the heating, ventilating, air conditioning, and refrigeration program, David Williams. Our outstanding student from the legal and protective services program is Deanna Patton. The outstanding student from the medical assisting program, Angelina Starks. From metal fabrication, the outstanding student is Dylan Wormwald. The outstanding student from the plumbing program, Samantha Cronin. This year's outstanding student from our precision machining program, Xavier Keenan. And our final outstanding student from the Video and Performing Arts program is Elizabeth Dragilowitz. Our next award is the Ralph Armstead Toolship Award. This award is given in memory of Mr. Ralph Armstead, a longtime member and chairman of the Southeastern Regional School Committee. Mr. Armstead supported vocational education and its mission. The scholarship is for deserving students continuing in their trade. We have several winners of the Ralph Armstead Toolship. The first, Bridget Anderson. Our second recipient of the Ralph Armstead Toolship is Olivia Barros. The next recipient of the Ralph Armstead Toolship is Giovanna DePina. Our next recipient of the Ralph Armstead Toolship is Stephen Gogan. Our next recipient of the Ralph Armstead Toolship is Michaela Gonsalves. Our next recipient of the Ralph Armstead Toolship, Edward Jerome. Our next recipient of the Ralph Armstead Toolship, Francesca Laloy. Our next recipient of the Ralph Armstead Toolship is Eduardo Lima. Our next recipient of the Ralph Armstead Toolship, Carter Perkinson. Our next recipient of the Ralph Armstead Toolship, Cliff Pierre. And our final recipient of the Ralph Armstead Toolship is Nicholas Schmall. How about a round of applause for the Ralph Armstead Toolship winners? The next scholarship is presented by Ms. Christina Guarini on behalf of the Guidance Department. This scholarship is given by the Guidance Department for 2 deserving students. The first is Kiana Harris. And the second winner of the Guidance Department Scholarship is Bailey Redmond. At this time, I'd like to offer congratulations to all the award winners tonight. I would also like to thank our very generous sponsors, our school committee members who donate their time. I'd also like to offer special thanks to Christina Guarini, who sets this whole thing up. She has wonderful assistance from Deb Cabral, Kathy Goldrick, and Anna Mata, her support staff in all of this. And finally, I would like to thank one other person who comes in every day for this award, for this ceremony, in jeans. Today he came in, rolled up his sleeves, laid out everything here. He was using something with bricks and string. I don't know exactly what it was, but somehow the layout worked. He's responsible for the fantastic things that you see before us, the grid, the cool layout. And like Mrs. Guarini said, he is the person who goes online and does the shopping to get all these cool things for you. Thank you, Mr. Lulope, Superintendent. And then if I could give one final shout out to our students from the Culinary Arts and the Video and Performing Arts program for acting so professionally and admirably. We couldn't do it without any of you. Thank you. Congratulations to all. Have a great night.
Oh, thank you.